Today we are turning wheat into meat. Hey there everyone, I am Julie Rhinosaurus and welcome to Everyday Vegan Gourmet. FYI, heads up, there is a free ebook loaded with a ton of recipes coming your way that I am working on, at least 30 recipes, maybe 50, I don't know. Tips, tricks, how-tos, vegan, simple, beginners, and really easy to do recipes. So please make sure that you hit the notification bell when you do subscribe so you do get notified and you know when the heck you can pick that up. So without further ado, alright, now these are the ingredients that we are going to need. 1 teaspoon of chili powder, lemon pepper. I am using a kind that does not have dyes in it, so just check that out. We are using 1/4 of a teaspoon. Low sodium Cajun seasoning. We are using 1/2 teaspoon of low Cajun southern seasoning. A can of reduced sodium Great Northern beans. 1 tablespoon of garlic powder. Also, we are going to need 1/4 cup of chopped red onion, and also premium vital wheat gluten. If you've never purchased this before, it's basically a flour of the really high protein of wheat. And I buy mine in a big bulk at a time because I save money that way. And actually this brand, Anthony's, is my favorite kind of wheat gluten that I've ever used. I've used kinds before where you just buy 1 pound at a time. It costs more that way, and also the meat doesn't come out as good as the texture as using this kind of Anthony's Vital Wheat Gluten. So I will leave a link down below if you want to get it on Amazon. I find that it's the cheapest, and if you have Prime, then you get it in 2 days with free shipping. So that's what I do. Now to put everything together, you are going to need a high-speed blender, and we are simply going to put all of the ingredients minus the wheat gluten. You leave the wheat gluten aside, put everything else inside of your high-speed blender, blend it all together until it gets nice and smooth consistency. So inside of a large mixing bowl, I just mixed my vital wheat gluten with the liquid concoction that we just made, and stir well with a rubber spatula until everything gets combined to where you can't stir anymore. And then I like to take out some disposable gloves. And you don't have to use gloves. Also, again, I will leave a link in the description box below, but when it comes to getting my hands dirty, I prefer to just throw it away, not get things on my hands. So let's get rid of our rubber spatula, get as much off of there as possible, and just knead everything together with your hands until all of the dry is mixed together and you have this giant dough ball. This is our wheat meat. This is how we make wheat into vegan meat, and it actually resembles the texture and consistency sort of like how meat has. So I am just showing you here of how stretchy it is when you are done. It's tough, but not too tough, and it has a pull to it. So this is what you do. And for this, I am just gonna make 4 similar sized portions so that they cook similar, but you could also break these up into little nuggets, or you can make tenders, or you can make other things with wheat meat. But for today, I'm just going to show you the basic version of what I normally do on a weekly basis that I can add to my meals without a hassle. It has a lot of protein and it's really cost effective and really cheap for me to do. So I'm just forming these into kind of chicken cutlet kind of shapes. And now that that's all done, we are just going to get some cabbage. You could buy a whole head of cabbage, but the last time I went to the store, I realized when I went to Walmart that there were these really big cabbage leaves that just fell off of the cabbages that no one's gonna buy. This is what I really want. I don't really want the small pieces of cabbage. So for getting 1 whole pound, that whole bag I just showed you, it was like 50 cents, and I only had the big pieces, so this is more cost effective. Tip if you are at a store and they have huge cabbages that have leaves already just in the bin. Now we are going to need a steamer inside of a large cook pot. I will leave a link down below to the steamer that I'm using. I believe this cost me somewhere between $7 and $9. It's a really cool, convenient steamer insert that you put inside of your pot, and it just collapses and folds. So you just take the feet, push them apart, and then you put this inside of your pot. And this is where we need the cabbage. I'm using the cabbage to line the metal so that the wheat meat doesn't steam and cook into the metal and it doesn't get wet and moist from all the steam. So the cabbage is perfect and it's really cost effective. You just throw the cabbage away when you're all done. This is what your pot looks like. You line it with cabbage and then you put in your wheat meat, doing your best to not touch them to each other. And then you just cover your pot with your lid and let this steam on a boil for about 30 minutes until the wheat meat is nice and firm. When you poke it with your rubber spatula or your finger, be careful if you're going to use your finger because it's super hot. It's steam. Steam is really hot, so be aware of that. Just use a fork or something to poke it so that you know that it is firm. If it feels soft and squishy, then you need to cook it longer. But for me, this was 30 minutes over a high boil. It was covered and the wheat meat got nice and cooked, and it has a springy kind of texture when you put your finger against it or a fork, and you can feel that it's tough and it's not gooey. So this is basic. This is very plain, and this is the base of how I use wheat meat inside of other dishes. Normally, I will stir fry this into something else and either do like mashed potatoes with slices of wheat meat and things, or I'll do a stir fry and I'll add in vegetables and spices. So to do that, I'm just gonna show you my go-to simple ingredients that I use to stir fry the wheat meat. I'm gonna use the same ingredients that I did before: garlic powder, chili powder, lemon pepper, Cajun seasoning, and we are just going to chop up the wheat meat into pieces, and I'm just gonna shake in the amounts that I want. You don't need that much, depending on what you want yours to taste like. You can use any ingredients that you want. Put in dill, that's good in there too, Italian seasoning, and make sure you're adding in olive oil. You didn't see me put in the olive oil, but just put some oil in there so that your wheat meat is able to absorb the liquid and combine all of the spices, the dry spices that you put in there, and it sticks to the wheat meat and not your pan. We want all the flavor in the meat as possible. It tastes so good, and we are just going to fry this up for seriously 2-3 minutes tops over medium-high heat. And when you cover it, it cooks really fast. Just flip it over a couple times. Make this as crispy or not as crispy as you want. It depends up to you if you like it softer on the inside or if you want it crispier on the outside, and what it is that you are mixing your meat with. But for me, this comes out kind of like chicken. If you were going to make chicken fajitas or something like that, this is the texture, especially when you slice it like how I did. Then you'll have a nice chicken substitute to add into stir fries, add into rice bowls, add into making dishes with potatoes, whatever it is you want to use this for. Fry it up first, and it is pretty good. It's nice and crispy, and it's our go-to for high protein vegan meat substitute. Really cost effective. 1/4 cup of the dry ingredients makes 23 or 24 grams of protein. So we use 2 cups. That's a lot of vegan protein inside of this meat, and it's a good meat substitute. In not that much time at all, you can have a high protein vegan meat substitute ready for you to add into your dinners. And here in the near future, I'll be showing you lots of different ways of how to use it, how to use this to not only do stir fries, but other kinds of dishes that all have lots of high protein in them. And also what's coming your way next time and in the future are vegan meal preps, healthy and meal preps for the week that you can just spend an hour, around about, a little less, a little more, to make all these different kinds of meal preps for the week. You don't have to think about it, you don't have to spend a lot of money, and that's what's coming your way. I'm Julie Ranosaurus. Thank you for watching. Check this out on everydayvegangourmet.com. Follow us on Instagram and on Facebook at Everyday Vegan Gourmet. As always, thank you very much for watching. Let me know down in the comments below what you would like to see made next. Commonly vegan or not, I like challenges. And very happy gourmet vegan cooking in your kitchen. Till next time, bye now.